This Ag Vision program is made possible through the generous support of Syngenta Seeds NK brand. The results you need, the freedom to choose. And by Farms.com. Ag news, market prices, ag careers, and farm real estate. You'll find it all at Farms.com.
This is an opportunity for anyone who's looking to improve their farm business.
Now maybe you've got an idea or you're wondering if this kind of thing has worked on other farms. Well, email your idea or your question to me directly. We'll have the email in just a few minutes, and the best questions will feature here on Ag Vision each week.
Here's a sample of how this will work. We will ask the experts to each respond to the same question. This week, we asked the team, what is the great false assumption hindering top farm managers today? Here's what they said.
Well, if I look back over the last few years, it appears that we've been operating very much on the assumption that land values are going to continue to go up, and therefore it's worthwhile to buy land simply because it's going to be worth more in the future. I think with the present environment where we're extremely overcapitalized and operating only because of record low interest rates, if interest rates start rising, we could see intensive pressures on land values. We could possibly see a correction in land values, and we could see therefore that land values might be weaker or lower in the future than they are today. So I think at this point in time it's very, very careful that you reassess that assumption that no matter what you do, land values are going to go up in price, and therefore you can't go wrong in paying a high price for them right now.
Well, I think there's more than one. The first one is the fact that a lot of producers assume that the future is simply a projection of the past. And there's too many changes that take place and taking place too quickly to just operate on taking trends of the past and projecting them forward to assume that's the way it's going to be tomorrow. The second one is the assumption that being a really good producer is the primary basis for success. I think it's important to do things very well, but first of all, you need to make sure you're doing the right things. And the third one, and this has become more clear to me all the time, is that there's an assumption by a lot of producers that cash basis profits and net cash flow actually reflect true profitability. The fact is, if you aren't measuring profit on an accrual adjusted basis, you can be 2 or 3 years out of sync.
Well, I would say the greatest false assumption, Kevin, is that all we need to do is hunker down and the good times will come back. And there certainly is a history of that over the last 70 or 80 years where that has worked, where tough times come, whether it's markets or climate. Farmers have really, been very stoic, and they've hunkered her down during the bad times, waiting for the good times to come back. And I think we're, well, I believe, strongly believe, we're in a market situation now that is in decline, and we need to make some transformational changes in order to keep going. So, and I think the second point, the second misconception is that individual farm families are really the best way to operate. Now, this doesn't mean that we're looking at corporate farms, but again, leading farmers are interdependent, and they've opted for interdependence as opposed to independence in order to reduce the risk, reduce costs, and increase their ability to market. And so that would be another key aspect, Kevin.
So there you have it. If you've got an idea you want to bounce off one of the top manager team, or you have a question about a new management concept, then email me directly. It's just kevin.stewart@farms.com.